In late January this year, 2020, there was a bushfire out the back of a relative's home in Newcastle. What you are seeing now is a little bit of video showing the destruction of a shed in their backyard where I had stored a lot of my old possessions, uni notes and that sort of thing, and a few bits and pieces. I'll show and talk about this fire in a lot more detail, but first, here is the news report on the fire by the local television station.
In 40-degree heat and blustery winds, the blaze took hold within minutes.
Oh, no. What the f***?
Trees catching fire on both sides of the road, drivers stopped, watching it unfold.
The wind was just carrying it so quickly and it just kept going and burning higher and higher. We saw trees fall down.
The fire broke out right near Whitburn Close, threatening John Jenkins' home of more than 20 years.
The heat from that, it just went straight up. The heat from that was just, it was terrible.
All fire and it was just red and it was like really high.
If that canopy had been picked up then, it was on the house.
At one point, he says they were fending for themselves.
I had two hoses, one hose there and another, I connected the other hose from the front. Hope Underwater doesn't charge me for that, but it was not my day yesterday.
Firefighters are treating the blaze as suspicious.
It was very scary because thoughts kept on popping up in my head, like I was just wondering if it would start again.
It was a hell of a shock, I can tell you.
A community rattled, but thankful.
Our fire is just an amazing job just to get it out as quick as they did. It could have been so much worse.
Jacinta Lee, NBN News.
From this news report, you would probably think that whilst this fire came close to properties, it only burnt the bush behind them and did little more than that. But as you will see from a camera set up by my relative, this fire did cause property damage and could have quite easily destroyed houses from the falling embers. Now, if you look to the top and right of the shed, you will see the fire develop in real time. Unfortunately, there is no sound and you cannot see how high the flames actually get. But you can see the intensity of the fire and the falling embers at times. Some of these embers started spot fires in the lawn and could have just as easily set fire to any dead leaves that may have been in the gutters of the house. I did hear that someone on the other side of the street was unaware of the bushfire until they looked out their window and saw someone was using their hose to put out a bush on fire in their front yard. You can see here that the lawn is cut very short and you would not expect it to burn easily, but this was at the height of summer and during a drought, and there had been virtually no rainfall for at least 2 months. Also, on this day, the temperature reached 44 degrees Celsius and was still over 40 degrees at the time of the fire. In the rest of this video, you will see the fire continue to develop in the yard. Then I will focus on the destruction of the shed, including neighbours' attempts to fight the fire, followed by the firefighters arriving and pulling the shed apart to finish the fight. Finally, I will show some video and photos I took over the next few days showing the shed and things destroyed inside the shed, finishing up with some photos a few months later of the shed rebuilt. For the next few minutes, I'll leave you to watch the fire develop further, then I will return to talk more about what is happening. Okay, I'm back. As you can see at this point, it looks as if the fire in the backyard has essentially burnt itself out, which is pretty much true as far as the grass lawn is concerned. But at this point, you can see a bush ignite into flames to the left in the foreground. This was unfortunate for the garden shed, as you will see at about the same time the flames begin to build at the back of the shed. At this time, a number of people enter the backyard and their attention is drawn to the obviously burning bush, and they naturally focus on this. This may have been fortunate for them, as the back of the shed exploded into flames. Also, starting from here, I have cut out bits of the video that more clearly show people, so it is not strictly real time from now on. I should point out here that I have zoomed into the garden shed not just to show it more closely, but also at the request of my relative not to show too much of the people there, as they would have been unaware they were being videoed. Though those people do need to be thanked for the great efforts they did put in to fight the fire. I was also told that there were 2 ambulances present, with some oxygen being given to at least 1 or 2 of the people here. This is quite understandable given the amount of smoke coming from the shed fire. This smoke gets a lot worse later in this video. It was good to see that most people were seen to be wearing face masks or some other face covering to reduce the effects of this smoke. I was quite surprised to see so many were able to get the face masks, and remember, this was before the pandemic virus was becoming a serious issue outside of China. Now, you may have noticed at the bottom right of the shed there is a curved shape in the flames. After the fire, I found the remains of a car tyre there, so it appears this tyre caught fire and exploded. Apparently, there was also a motorcycle tyre at the back of the shed somewhere. Once again, I'll leave you and return towards the end of the video. If you don't want to watch the whole video till then, but choose to skip ahead, then at the bottom of the screen you will see some times for some events that may be of interest. Now shortly you'll see some video of the aftermath that I took in the following days and at the end a few months later when the shed was rebuilt. Now I will look to the side here so I can watch and tell you what's going on. So as you can see here, I'm walking up the backyard with my iPhone videoing this. So you can see the shed's rather badly damaged, and we're about to look through the door and you can see into the bush as well. So we have an old computer there, badly burnt, the bookshelves, and a lot of badly burnt books, but surprisingly it's just on the outside, so the contents of the books are still readable and pictures seen and all that kind of thing. So you can see the burnt grass. It is clear there that it's very short, and where it's not burnt it's still fairly dry. We have a bit of computer stuff there. There's a bit of a wardrobe. Papers that were all in plastic tubs. You know, there was a lot of other things in the plastic tubs which were basically totally obliterated. We have there at the back, there's a wardrobe, pretty much totally destroyed. It was built by my great-grandfather a long time ago, don't know when, but he did die in the 1950s, so it was a very old wardrobe. Just saw there a bit before the remains of a Commodore 64. Now you can see a bit where the flames would have been coming out of the roof there under the eaves. But yeah, the outside there is pretty okay. Little bit more of a look inside. Bit of burnt paperwork, some uni notes and things I collected for my genetics studies, including some conferences I attended. Bottles, bit of wood, burnt cardboard. Yes, I did have a lot of empty cardboard boxes, which probably made the fire worse, but anyway. Some old school books from high school. Remove the ashes, see what's underneath. And there's a bit of a Meccano set that was actually my father's when he was a child.
My father's
anyway,
ancient Meccano set, whatever's left of it.
They're just things, and yep, no one seriously hurt.
Plastic bag.
No serious building damage apart from the shed and all my stuff in it. But anyway, that's life. And a bit more there. I don't know what that is. A bit of cardboard, burnt, chuck it down.
Okay.
Whatever. Yeah, a few of the things. Oh yeah, this is a couple of days later when I'd cleared up most of the stuff and sorted out what I could retrieve. You can see the wardrobe there a bit more clearly. Totally destroyed. A lot of stuff in there, even from when I was a baby. But anyway, all destroyed. Cleared all the stuff off the bookshelves. Just left stuff that may as well go to the tip. So these are some still photos, some old toys, World War II helmet that was my grandfather's, an old laptop computer, the Commodore 64 computer from the 1980s, which was in good condition, the discs and software with it. Oh yeah, and a few fire safety tips there. A little bit charred, but anyway. And there's the new shed. And a bit of the bush behind. This is a few months later, just showing what it's like. Anyway, I'll leave you with that, and here I go to conclude this video. If you would like to see more of my videos, then keep watching for one that YouTube believes you would like. Also, please subscribe and click on the bell icon to be notified when I upload future videos. You can also support me to make more videos through Patreon. I'm David A. Elliott. Try to have a good one and see you around like a rissole.